And we are back live from the Darius Garland Region All-Star Game 2026, the second annual. I'm Coach Boz, and I am joined by the Honorable Mayor, Eddie Melton, Mayor of Gary. What's up, Mayor?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How's it going?
Man, excited to be here. Excited to have you up here in the booth with us, man. A lot of festivities, a lot of action in that last game, man. Tell us about what this means to the city of Gary.
Listen, man, to have Darius Garland, the Garland family, represent so well, to have this all-star game is phenomenal, man. We just wanted to grow. We want to continue bringing folks from around the region of Gary, Indiana, to show off the great progress that's taking place.
Now, you doing your thing, Mayor. I give you a lot of credit. Tell me about some of the things that are in the works with the city of Gary.
Listen, since we're here with the youth, I'm going to start with the youth. And this is a sneak preview. Right now, we're getting ready to roll out some comprehensive youth sports programming. We're going to be partnering with a lot of good former NBA, NFL players that's coming back. They want to invest in the community. Summer jobs initiatives. Just received a grant from the Hard Rock Casino, Center Workforce Innovations. We're going to be trying to hire as many Gary youth that we possibly can with the resources that we have. We had one of the safest summers that we had in many years last year, and we're on track to do that again. So we want to make sure we give the students and the youth of the city of Gary as much safe spaces to play and opportunities to congregate. So that's something that we'll be seeing, man. But job opportunities, we just announced that the new opening of the 10 mill plant at U.S. Steel, 225 new jobs, 1,000 in total that's coming down the pipeline with U.S. Steel. $3 billion investment. FedEx just broke ground on a new facility. 600 new jobs. Indiana Sugars has built a new warehouse and distribution center. Another 300 to 400 new jobs. So right now we're on track to constantly grow. The city's population has grown for the first time in 50 years, right?
Wow.
So we've been losing the population for many years, but right now we're on track to gain another 1,000 new residents within the next year or so.
We're here live on the Region Sports Network, and we're here at the All-Star Game, man. I know you were an athlete back in the day. Tell me about your sports background.
You know, I'm a football guy at heart. I played basketball my freshman and sophomore year at Horseman High School, but football was my heart.
Absolutely. You talk about giving the kids a safe space to play, man. I think that's so important. Sports was so important to my life.
Yes, sir.
I know it was to you as well, man, but just giving these kids an opportunity to play and excel is so important, and is very important for the growth of the city of Gary.
No, absolutely, man. You're going to see more investment that we're going to be making. You know, we got the new wide WCA that's going to be opening up in another couple of months, a $40 million facility. We're constantly trying to expand and grow these opportunities, man. So I have the Darius Garland and his family come back. Well, look, every opportunity we get, we're going to take it to collaborate and partner.
And I love the fact that, people are coming. This is an all-star game, so people are coming from all over the region for this all-star game. It gives us an opportunity to highlight the beautiful things that are going on in the city of Gary. It's people coming from outside that can see this beautiful facility here at IUN and a lot of the good development that's going on in downtown Gary. So we're excited to be a host, to host other people from our community.
Now think about it. In another couple years, we're going to have the new Lake County Convention Center right on 8094. 3 new hotels. That opens up a lot of opportunities for more of these type of events taking place. So just stay tuned. And a lot of good stuff is happening in Greater Gary.
Youth sports, Mayor. Youth sports is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yes.
So, with the convention center and hotels, that gives us an opportunity to host bigger tournaments, bigger festivals. A lot of dollars are centered around sports nowadays.
Absolutely. I see an opportunity downtown, to be exact, right? So we're getting ready to build a new train station downtown Gary in collaboration with the state of Indiana. So with the Hudson and Campbell facility, with the Railcat Stadium, and with some other space opportunities that we see in the future, we can truly expand and make some investments that can really highlight this youth sports initiatives.
Man, well, I'm super excited for the future of Gary. Again, you're doing an incredible job.
Thank you.
Excited for the Garland family and Darius to be back, putting this presentation on for our kids and for all the kids in the region. But thanks for jumping on Mr. Mayor, I know you're busy. You got to get back down there and shake it on for our kids and for all the kids in the region. But thanks for jumping on, Mr. Mayor. I know you're busy. You got to get back down there and shake some hands, man.
Right.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to Game Night in the Region here on the Region Sports Network. We come to you today from Indiana University Northwest for Game 4 of our quintuple header, as this is the Darius Garland Elite All-Star Games Region Senior All-Stars in girls basketball. Some of the best seniors from across the region in girls basketball getting set to play tonight. I'm Captain Milano, the play-by-play for tonight's action. And joining me in the color analysis is Michael Brander. Good afternoon, Mike.
Kevin,
glad to be with you again.
Yeah,
let's have some fun.
I'm ready to have some fun. As the song says, this is Indiana. We do it big, right? Indiana doesn't do it like anybody else. We bring all-star games like none other to Northwest Indiana, to the rest of the state as well. I can't wait to get this going. I got to see a little of the action from you guys earlier in the day. And, man, oh, man, it's going to be a great time. I don't know if Zach Miller can hear. Yeah, I was going to say I couldn't hear myself very well, but we got it. We're rocking and rolling here at IUN, so it's going to be a fun day of basketball. Some of the best seniors, as you said, around Northwest Indiana.
Exactly right. Both teams being introduced here. You saw earlier at the 12 o'clock time slot the futures, the 8th graders. Then we got the girls, freshmen through juniors, battling it out. And you just witnessed the boys, freshmen through juniors, getting set to go. 2 more games left on the dock. It's been a lot of fun. And the big storyline we've talked about through all 3 games so far has been the energy on display from both teams. And really all the players participating, which in an all-star game you sometimes question, especially at the professional levels. There's so much discourse about that. But here at the high school level, there's no question about the effort that's been on display so far, and we expect more of the same today.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things about this level, and it is an all-star game, so obviously you don't want injuries. So, yeah, is everyone playing, all out 100%? Probably not. Probably going to put a little bit in the tank. Maybe defense isn't as stellar as you might see during the regular season, and that's okay because we don't want any injuries to take place here in this one as we're tipping things up. But you still want to make sure that you're looking impressive amongst others around Northwest Indiana. You're on the Region Sports Network. You're putting your showcase around some of the other best talent in Northwest Indiana. These are all-star teams for a reason. Everybody loves all-star teams. And, yeah, you may not get the highest caliber of defense. You're going to get good offense, right, because everybody loves to shoot. Everybody loves to dunk the ball and all that kind of stuff. But, yeah, it's going to be a good one here. And I think on the girls' side even more so because they want to show out a little bit here.
There's a tough shot that can't fall out of the hands of Davis, the senior from Marquette Catholic. Team split into 2. You have the team, they've been dubbed black and gray, against Team White on the scoreboard tonight. There's a 3-point shot, no good. The put around goes in, and we have our first points of the game. All seniors playing in this one. Mulaney Williams, the senior from Maryville, the Pirates' lone representative in this one, hoists the 3. She left it shy. A battle for it as Collins scoops it up, and the possession will stay put. That is Mariah Collins, the senior out of Portage, averaging 8.2 points per night. She'll do the inbounding here.
And as you may see here, we've got some double numbers at this case, at least for Team White here. It looks like we've got a couple of number 2s, and then, even on the black-gray team, we've got a number 2 as well. So we'll try to stick with it as best we can. That's one of the fun things about All-Star games, too. It keeps us on our toes as well.
Here's a catch and release, and it rims out. And a long weak side rebound.
We could also do a team based on Team Green Shoe versus Team Yellow Shoe here, right? I mean, I'm digging these shoes here. I want to know why we weren't offered a pair. What's going on with that?
Yeah, they're all the New Balance kicks as well, too.
I'm not a cool kid. I know that for sure. Trying to go up all the way against the window here. I believe that's India Hutchinson.
It is Hutchinson, the senior, the Hammond Central 5'11 forward. She was dominant this year, 18.4 points per night.
She's been dominant for a couple years here for Hammond Central.
Here's Davis. She'll fire from deep. Can't get it to go. Rebound by Williams. She puts up a shot, and it was impacted. As you hear in the background, rejected. Coast to coast the other way now. It is Hutchinson again. No. Put back goes, and it's 6-0. We're calling on the score bug if you're watching at home. The team wearing white is the East team on the bug. The team wearing black and gray are going to be West on the scoreboard if you're watching wherever you may be. Thanks for being with us here on the Region Sports Network. 5:45 to play. And the team black-gray still in search of their first points of the game. This is Mulaney Williams. Off a screen, a dribble handoff, and a three for steal. Won't go. That's the Highland product, 5'9". She averaged 22 points a game this year for Highland there, Michael. She led the Northwest Crossroads Conference in points per game.
You know, I think that's pretty good. Not too bad when you're leading a conference in scoring. You know, obviously you're doing something right there. I mean, there's so much talent out in that conference as well. So, you know, getting those opportunities and taking advantage of them, no question about it.
So Pennzoil will inbound here. Addison, the Marquette Catholic guard, inbounds it, and the jump shot is pure out of the hands. And all of a sudden, it's an 8-0 game.
Yeah, out to an 8-0 stretch, 8-0 run. Making the spin, turning it around, and trying to fire was Miller there from Kenwood, trying to get something going there for her team. This one poked away, looked like from Edmonds there from ECC.
And there is that breaking score. It is Jordan Steele with the layup. 8-2 is the score in favor of the team in white. Clark, the Valparaiso prospect, finds an open teammate, and that is Collins who lays it in.
Fun
atmosphere. We're going to get our first subs here in a second.
Yeah, subs coming in here. Just a fun atmosphere here. This Darius Garland All-Star game here, and more facilities here at Indiana University Northwest.
There's Montgomery, and she's rejected by Mulaney Williams, who immediately goes to pick her up. Good sportsmanship there. That's the funness of this type of game.
Yeah, I mean, something that you would see that in sanctioned IHSAA events as well, helping out somebody. But, yeah, it's fun to see an All-Star game. There is a respect level here. Like, not everyone's invited to an event like this, so, game respecting game on that one. And I would imagine, and I was trying to watch a little bit of the previous game just to kind of get a sense of, what the games are going to look like, in terms of coaches, and are you actually drawing anything up? Have you actually met with the team, anything like that? And it kind of gets the impression that a lot of the players just kind of showing up here today and going to go out there and play a basketball game, which is great to see, continuing your development as well. But sometimes it makes it challenging, and I think like that right there is one of those things that I was about to get to is you don't have that chemistry with a lot of these players, right? So sometimes where you're used to being able to dump it off to someone without even a look because they're there because you played with them for so many years. On a play like that, you're trying to dump it off to the baseline, and that person is not there. They're not reading the same thing you are. Well, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that in an All-Star game.
And that's the other thing I was about to bring up. And it's even different than the fact of, you don't have the built-up chemistry, but there are some cases where, hey, like there's several Duneland Conference players, so you might recognize people, but you're also playing with a lot of players who aren't in your conference that you might see once every couple of years in a non-conference game, but that is about the extent of it as well, too. 12-2 the score, 3.5 to play. This is Davis. pulling up from distance and leaving it short.
But I'm going to say this right there, or right here, like this is where when you watch, these IHSAA sanctioned events and you're watching these schools and you're seeing their movements and their, chemistry basically here. And, games like this, you're probably not going to see that nearly as much, and that's okay. But, just a little, like lobbing a pass up. Can this player reach the same speed as maybe your teammate? Do they go a little bit slower? Do they go a little bit faster? How long can you make the pass? Things like that. So it really makes you appreciate still what we get to experience on a season basis in Northwest Indiana, just that chemistry and the connectivity. But then these are games where you're like, hey, it'd be so much fun to see so-and-so from this school and so-and-so from this school get together. And then events like this is where you get to see it.
Von Ogden. They're on the pass. Deflects out of bounds. It'll stay here. Williams will rejoin for Team Black-Gray. Here's Valencia Miller out of Kenwood. Try to get to her right, cut off there well by Pennzoil.
It's a great defense.
And she forces a turnover.
Just kind of stand there, and this,
Mart there is the trailer. She won't need her though, and she makes it 14-2.
But from what I'm seeing right now, these are games where you're putting your own just athletic ability in. Like you don't need to watch and get together with other teammates and practice things. You're just kind of going based on the skills that you know. I'm going to get in help side defense. These are basic one-on-one skills.
Steele misses there, and the other thing too is I like how you brought up the dream combination aspect, where it's You're talking to guys who have played in events like this in the past, and this is all sports, not just basketball exclusive. Sometimes players walk away from events like this going, man, that would have been fun to play with this person for the last 4 years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no question about it. Well, and that's, I think back in the day, as Hutchinson putting that one in, back in the day, before free agency, you definitely had that. Now you live in this era of free agency, and you kind of make those teams, right? I mean, look at, I don't care what sport you're talking about, but let's take the NBA, for instance. You bring in guys together to make these large teams that are going to be champion quality teams. Let you get a read in here for our wonderful sponsors here for the Darius Garland.
And our coverage today of the 2026 Darius Garland Region All-Star Game is made possible by Bilko's Barbershop. Give them a call today at 219-886-1483. A 30-second timeout called here by Team Black-Gray, chasing a 14-point hole here early, inside 90 seconds left in our first quarter. First of 4, 1.8-minute quarters. New element as well. There is a shot clock in all the games today, which is something you do not see during the regular season in Indiana. So it's a very, I'm sure, minor adjustment for these players who all have aspirations to play at the next level if they're not already committed to go play basketball at the next level.
Well, and I appreciate it, and I'm on record already as saying I'm on team shot clock, but I know the guys were talking about it in the previous broadcast. But in a game like this, I just don't know how often it's going to be a factor because there's no set offenses, right? Nobody's calling a play, so they're not setting something up where it's going to take a while, and you can eat a lot of clock on this. But, I mean, obviously you're getting down to 18 seconds here.
Hutchinson, nice turnaround. She draws the foul. Would it surprise you if I told you in the first 2 games we had a combined 5 shot clock violations?
With the younger kids, yes.
But I
should say no. I shouldn't say that because it doesn't surprise me because they're used to trying to set something up. They're usually trying to find the wide open shot. Here in high school, you're used to being able to. You got to sometimes create your own shot. So at this level, the farther advanced you get, I really feel like you just kind of create your own concept, your own thing. So I would say maybe at this level, I would be surprised to see shot clock violations. At the younger levels, no, I would not be surprised because they're used to kind of taking their time a little bit.
Hutchinson splits the pairs, but she gets her own rebound on the weak side. There's a 3-ball on the way, and it's short. Valencia Miller, the Kenwood product, with the rebound. And in case you're wondering what those first 2 games were that I'm mentioning here to Zach, or to Michael, rather. I worked with Zach earlier.
Yeah, no, you're good. Anytime I can get called Zach Miller, I consider that I'll consider that a compliment for sure. Region
Futures, which was the boys' 8th graders. Those are all guys committed to play committed, in air quotes, I should say, with plans to play at region high schools next year, and the Lady Rising Stars, which are freshmen through juniors of girls from high school teams across the region.
Well, I'm sure I've seen some of those 8th graders when they were 7th graders at some point along the way here this past season, because I get to get the fortunate ability to coach at the middle school level myself. So, I'm sure I've seen some of these players that were out here earlier today. But one of the other things about, you're talking about that shot clock and maybe violations earlier in the game, one thing the processing of the game in general. At the high school, you are processing so much faster because, one, it speeds up, right? Everybody's moving quicker, but your knowledge of the game gets so much better as well, so you can do things a little bit quicker. And I'm sure we'll have one or two at some point. That's just trying to get rebounds and trying to put it up because they're not resetting it when, or maybe they are. They're not necessarily resetting it as the ball is loose on the floor right now. And anybody that says they're not trying hard in an all-star game, watch that right there. They're trying hard. They want that ball.
19.5 seconds left. The jump ball, and we'll go to Team Black-Gray. As Von Ogden, the Griffith product, re-enters. Here is Miller. 14 on the shot on the game clock. Going right to the lane, and it's no good. And the rebound there for Edmonds.
Great crossover.
Open is Clark. She goes inside instead, and that will end the quarter. 17-4 in favor of Team White as the Darius Garland Region All-Star Games continue here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Gary, Indiana, I'm back. Yep, I'm back at Bilco's every 3 weeks, starting April 28th. I'll be back cutting hair, and I'll be back there doing hair replacement systems. Yes, there is a demand in Gary, Indiana for hair replacement systems, and I'll be the one that'll be servicing you. So come on in for a consultation and come see what Gary, Indiana's best barbershop is doing on 2448 Broadway. Trust me, see you there so I can give you some hair.
To keep up with all things Region Sports, be sure to check us out on our social media pages. We are always active on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, and on our website at regionsports.com. Celebrating over 25 years, we are proud to still be the only game in town. Second quarter, 17-4. Your first game of the day with us. What's your early impressions of not just the gameplay, but this event as a whole?
Oh, I mean, so far I am really enjoying this. It's not often that you get to, you get the joys of a Indiana-Kentucky game later in the year for the girls and the guys, and that's always a fun rivalry matchup because, obviously Indiana always wants to beat Kentucky, and Kentucky always wants to beat Indiana. But, when you get just region kids together for an event like this, it's special because there is so much great talent in the Northwest Indiana area. And when we say the region, we're talking about a wide, range here because that's all who's invited. And I'm absolutely loving this. First off, great facilities here at IU Northwest, and I'm going to say it's just because, an IU school, obviously. Because
Hutchinson lays it in, 19-4.
Because go Hoosiers. But at the same token, and I say that as a Purdue grad myself, but Purdue Cal, yes, thank you, Zach.
Here's a jump shot. We need to get. Might as well get Zach and Mike here in a second, as the shot was left shy by Rowland, the Rensselaer guard, who's been busy on the glass in this one.
But in a game like this, I'm watching. Defense is pretty spectacular. They're throwing things up there. Fouls are being called. Nobody wants to be on the losing end. See, the thing about a game like this is, it's an all-star game, so there's nothing on the line. You're not getting a scholarship today. You're not, trying to go for a state championship or a sectional title. But at the same time, there's pride on the line. You are really putting your showcase out there. This is where when we say, hey, let's take this person from this team and this person from this team and put them on one team, now all of a sudden you are, like, you're out there. You're exposed for everyone to be able to see, and with some of the best also out there as well. No lane violation call there because the ball went in. But see, but that's a perfect example right there. We're jockeying for position, right, to get the rebound in case it was missed.
We had earlier in game 2 of the day, as Hutchinson can't handle the loose change out of bounds to Team Black Ray. We had not because of bad basketball. We had, because of how good a full court press was, a 10-second violation in the backcourt.
See, there's so much aggression. We're losing shoes out here. This is great. Is Zach Miller jumping on the broadcast with us? No, he's testing things out. Okay, just making sure while we're fixing shoes here.
He did magic voice say he might, so there's a shot we could be graced with his presence here in this one.
I'm never going to turn down having Zach Miller on a broadcast with me. Oh, I can hear him clicking himself on. I can hear it in my ears.
22 to shoot, as that one's no good. It gets deflected around and falls to Hutchinson. The Hammond Central senior pushing the pace. Got Clark from Valparaiso open on the block, and she puts it in. 21-6 the score. It is all Team White.
You know, obviously not a set play, but, man, what field vision to look downfield and find your teammate and set up the long pass to get the open man to get to the bucket. Really nice play set up there. Von Ogden there from Griffith getting a piece of that and getting the bucket.
This is Lanaya Davis getting set to shoot a pair. Marquette Catholic guard connects on the front end. She was the team's leader in points per game, rebounds per game, and was a great defensive presence this season. Averaged 3.4 steals a game this season in 27 games, mind you. And she was one of only 2 players on that Marquette Catholic squad to score 10 or more a night this season. Yeah, you know, goes 2 for 2.
One of those underrated stats that I like to look at is steals, because if you're getting the ball taken away, that means that other team, that's one less possession for them, right? One less chance to score. You want to win. I know we don't really keep track of that in high school, but you want to win that time of possession, right? The time that you have the ball, because that just gives you more opportunities to try to shoot.
Davis can't hit as Miller gets called for the over the back. Well, and especially in a state that doesn't have a shot clock during the season, one less possession is massive in the grand scheme of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no question about it.
It'll be Edmonds out of East Chicago Central to inbound it. Enzoil Marquette Catholic on the ball right now. Picks up a screen and drives it right down the lane and scores.
I've been really impressed with her game so far in this one. She's been really helpful on the help defense. She is in those positions to get where she needs to go. She's right in the middle there like she's supposed to be. Obviously not a set, but she realizes, okay, I'm 2 places away from the ball. Got to get in my position. And, this is all communication. Talking to your teammates. Where am I supposed to be? Okay, I'm going to set up here, the full court press. Who do I got trailing behind me? Okay, I believe is that Edmonds behind her? Edmonds behind her, trailing. Okay, I've got her just in case I get a little too much pressure.
Edmonds avoids the contact. That makes it 23-8. Team White is rolling here in this first half. Davis trying to respond. Finds Miller. Miller lost the handle on it. Rowland.
Good recovery, passing it down.
Miller can't get the first one, gets her own, and scores. They're in double figures. It's 25-10.
If at first you don't succeed, try again, right? So you don't get it the first time, try again the second time. And
that dates me back to the kindergarten Playhouse Disney days. Here's a 3 on the way, and it's pure. Out of the hands of Montgomery. The Gary Westside senior. And what a response, though, from Rowland on the other end. Rensselaer product.
Rowland would not be denied on that play, making sure that one went down the basket.
And here you go. They're actually are running a set here. Montgomery trying to draw a baseline. Stops, puts it up. And it's short. And a long rebound on the weak side for Team Black and Gray. Here is Davis in transition. Can't get it to fall in. Montgomery, great steal. That was Davis.
And you probably, I don't know if our audio could hear it, but I could hear audibly. I heard someone say, "Watch your back," and then sure enough, coming in from behind, getting that steal there.
That was Edmonds who shouted it. Layla Edmonds, the 5'11", kind of that two-way wing combo out of East Chicago Central.
In a game like this, communication's so important. Again, you don't have that necessarily that chemistry with your team that you normally would throughout the course of a season. You do so many reps in practice. You know where people are going to be. In a game like this, you're not going to have that. So that communication, very key in an all-star game.
Quick 30-second timeout here with 4:06 left. Coverage of today's All-Star festivities are made thanks to Bilko's Barbershop, voted as the top barbershop in Lake County. 2012, you're starting to see, it looks like a lot of the players are starting to get more comfortable on the floor now.
Yeah, they're getting loose. I mean, it's one thing, it gave the appearance that these guys are coming in kind of right out of their cars and kind of getting warmed up, getting loose just to go play a basketball game. There's not any chance to go to an auxiliary gym or anything. There could be that I just haven't seen. Get some shots up, but they're kind of getting the warm-ups here.
Oh, that's a sweet shot there from Hutchinson.
Doing good work down there at the baseline like she has the last couple of years over in Hammond. That's going to be a traveling.
Yep. Davis committed it. And it's really the first travel of this game. It's been technically sound. All the turnovers have been steals, really, in this one.
Yeah, coming from behind and now kind of setting up an offense here a little bit, trying to figure out what they want to do.
Maybe an errant pass here or there, too. Hutchinson off an off-ball screen from Clark.
So there's a really good ball movement right here, or movement away from the ball as well. Hutchinson getting to the deck, trying to secure the ball.
Von Ogden with the rebound. A Griffith guard-forward combo. That's a crazy take to the basket there in just terms of the movement. Not necessarily a bad decision, just flailing around as Pennzoil can't get it to fall.
It was the block at the other end as well. They kept it in bounds as well, so they kept the play alive.
Three-pointer on the way from Steele is aired. And we'll get a couple subs.
Rushed the shot just a little bit too much. Didn't realize she was that open, and she's going to want to shoot again real quick though, to get that out of her head.
Hope we get some shooters touch there. Mart with a great feed underneath to Edmonds. Good hands there from Miller. Back out to Mart. She'll try her first three. Yeah, can't get that one to fall.
Trying to get back in transition here.
Here is Miller weaving through traffic and draws a foul.
Yeah, looked like Edmonds there kind of came down with the arm. Maybe got her on the arm, it looks like.
So this is Valencia Miller out of Kenwood. Another senior as well playing in this one. Left it short. 12-hour score. 2:37 to play in the half. Team White out in front by that 18-point margin over Team Black-Gray. Yes, that's an 0-for-2 trip. Clark had to stop and just find an open teammate. She picked up her dribble in the backcourt.
So I should ask you, you had a chance to check out some of the earlier action today. What impressed you about some of our younger athletes around Northwest Indiana? Are you optimistic about the future of basketball in the region?
And why not? As Mart gets one of her first points on the night, she puts that sweet runner in off the window. I think I'm very optimistic, and the reason why I'm optimistic is, well, if you are a fan of great defensive-minded basketball like I am, that's what I think this next group's in store for. We saw in the first two games just tons of phenomenal defense, and the scoring really didn't start till game 3 of the day, which is the boys' Rising Stars. But in terms of the Rising Stars on the girls' side and in the Futures game, it was just rock fight.
All right. 2
rock fights. So if you love defense, the future of Indiana basketball and region basketball is for you, in my opinion.
All right. So if you're on team scoring, then you're in for some
rough couple of years.
Low-scoring games. Nothing wrong with that. Coach appreciates good defense, getting into that help side.
Hey, I mean, that's Dan Hurley says we've won 2 national titles in the last 4 years because of our defense. And Dan Hurley's a defensive-minded coach, so hey. good for you. And Gino Auriemma is the same way.
Very true. And I would love to see, and I know it's not changing anytime soon, I would love to see the, crazy amount of three-point shots, like in certain situations where, you really don't need a three, but everybody wants to shoot the three because that's the cool thing to do. We can get that maybe changed a little bit and do a little bit more driving to the rim. You and I got to see that at the state championship game. There were a lot of threes chucked up, not a lot of driving to the rim, right? So
we also saw it was talked about in the last broadcast, I don't know if controversial is the right term to use, but the decision to stall by Crown Point, which in essence changed the momentum of the game, not in the way the Bulldogs were hoping for, in a game in which they were controlling most of the way up until that point, unfortunately. So that's one of those instances where, I'm sure obviously revisionist history you like to have back.
I was just going to say, had things played the way Crown Point wanted, nobody's talking about that. They're talking very differently about that situation. And, I haven't talked to Coach Swan since then. I'm sure he wants to forget about that, and I don't blame him. But, you're going to make decisions in a game, and you're always going to second-guess yourself in certain situations if things don't work out, what you could have done better. And that's one of the great things about playing in a game like this. Now you get a chance to get, fresh out of your head, a chance to go play basketball and watch more basketball and see what other players are doing and things like that because, you don't want to leave on a sour note. So some of the Crown Point guys are back here today to be able to play. And, you still walk away from that experience with the ability to say, like, hey, I competed in a state championship game. Very few players in the state of Indiana get to say that because, we've got so much good basketball around this entire state because, in 49 other states, basketball is just a game. And here in the Hoosier State, it's a way of life, and we don't take it for granted.
Inside of a minute to play. First half, 37-14, the score in favor of Team White. Rowland. A nice spin move to find the cutting Williams, and she'll go to the cup and the line for two.
One thing underrated, too, especially in high school basketball, and we don't talk about it enough. We talk about coaches. We don't talk about them enough, but, we talk about the players a lot. But how about the families of these players?
Yeah. The
families that sacrifice a lot to make sure that these players can participate in tournaments all season long. These tournaments are not cheap. To travel to the tournaments that you go to is not cheap. To get the equipment you need is not cheap. And, if you want to be able to go watch your player play, and this is any sport, but, we're talking basketball here, to go, you have to take time off of work potentially. And that's not easy to do because if you're not working, unless you're on salary, you're probably not making money either. So always a challenging thing to do. Nice. I like the screen set up right there in the middle. Didn't work out the way they wanted, but nice ability to set the screen there and stay with it. Not get called for a moving screen either. Yeah, but kudos to a lot of, and then, when you do get your child the opportunity to play in a lot of games, and then they just go with it. They excel, and, they explode in talent and things like that. All kind of comes to fruition. If you can go on to the next level and play as well, that's always a great feat, and kind of feels like everything totally worth it in the end.
To keep up with all things Region Sports, be sure to check us out on our social media pages. We are always active on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, and our website at regionsports.com. Celebrating over 25 years, we are proud to still be the only game in town.
Yeah, we are.
And we're proud of it today. 23 seconds left as Rowland controls the ball. Finds Miller on the wing. Miller, a roller from 15 feet, doesn't drop in. Rowland got it back, puts it up. That one doesn't spin in. We got to check the rims here. Williams hoists that one up. It won't go. 6 seconds left. This is Edmonds across the timeline. Can she beat the buzzer? She's rejected with 1.2 seconds left.
So it'll stay on this end of the floor. I like the no call, a little bit of contact, but definitely initiating contact as well. So I think she thought she was going to the line, but not the case.
Montgomery inbound. Edmonds has to hoist. Got it off in time, and she overshot the basket. And that will conclude the first half. 38-16 the score here in the Senior Girls Regional All-Star Game. This is the DG Elite Darius Garland Region All-Star Game on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Have you heard? Stratton Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Stratton Manteau.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowd Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowd Companies, insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
Bilko's Barber Shop in Gary is today's presenting sponsor for the second annual Darius Garland Elite Regional All-Star Games. Check out the shop at 2448 Broadway. Just about T-minus 90 seconds till our second half begins here of the Senior Girls Region All-Star Competition. Team White leading Team Black-Gray 38-16. As we welcome you back to atop our gymnasium here at Indiana University Northwest with our entire Region Sports Network crew of Chris Ramirez, Rich Castillo, Zach Miller, Mike Dewan, alongside our broadcast partner, Michael Brander. I'm Kevin Malater. Thanks for being with us here. Game 4 of 5 on that. We still got one more left. This is fun.
I wish we had 10 more left, because who doesn't love basketball here in Northwest Indiana? It's the best thing going today.
I will say, the high school baseball season and softball season has been off to a fun start so far the last couple of weeks.
No question about it. I just got to get a little taste of that on Wednesday over at Lake Central. A really tough conference matchup against LaPorte. But, yeah, definitely some fun stuff going on. Boys volleyball as well. But here at IUN, we've got some girls basketball. Who said basketball season is over? It's still going strong here in the region. I mean, you got NBA Finals getting ready to start, and I think they did start last night. So,
yeah, they just got started last night. Stanley Cup playoffs. It's just the end of March through like through June is perhaps is minus not having football, might be the best time as a sports fan. You have obviously March Madness in both men's and women's basketball. Major League Baseball makes its return. The Stanley Cup playoffs in hockey, which are elite. If you haven't watched those yet, highly recommend. NBA playoffs get going too. It's a fun time of year to be a sports fan.
I mean, you do got some football with like the UFL
UFL
and
too,
stuff
yes,
like that.
correct,
so.
yes.
But no, but this is Indiana though, Kevin, and we do basketball. So.
We do.
And here at IUN,
Elite.
We got the All-Stars coming out here.
Who's the player that stood out to you from the first half, by the way?
For whatever reason, my eye keeps going to Pennzoil just because I feel like she's kind of navigating the offense for Team White here. And then on the defensive end, she just seems to be in all those right spots. She is sliding to those defensive positions that she needs to get to. So right now, she's kind of the one that is just drawing my attention from high atop here at the facilities center here, the home of the Red Hawks.
Well, Edmonds falls away, and it won't fall. Two players from the same team try to grab it. Here is Davis trying to go coast to coast, and she can.
How about cutting through the lane right there, saying nobody's in my way. I'm going to go take this one. Team White wants to fall asleep on defense. Let me have some offensive fun.
We were talking about her teammate, her fellow Marquette Catholic teammate, and she's like, hey, give me some shine, too.
Yeah.
There's a three on the other end.
Yeah, no question. I hope you out.
So right now, early, it's been the Marquette Catholic show here in the second half. Davis again responds with a triple.
Trying to come back in this one, make it a 20-point deficit, trying to cut it down here, get a little bit closer.
Hutchinson uses the accelerator and draws a foul.
Yeah, we'll get that foul at top there, just trying to get the hands to not let that basket go down. I don't know about you, whenever I was playing basketball, I was always told, like, hey, if you're going to foul them on the shot, make sure the ball doesn't go in.
I
you can be aggressive if you want. That's fine right there. The ball not going to go in on that one.
See, I was the undersized point guard who could only either shoot threes or just pass.
Okay.
So guarding in the post wasn't an issue for me because I was never asked to do that because I was like 5'0" my entire basketball career.
Okay. I got you. So you weren't hanging out in the post, all right? I was the short, chubby kid that was, couldn't play anywhere else. He just had to be stuck right down there at the baseline because he couldn't move anywhere else.
The one time I had to on a switch in 30-second timeout, so we'll stay right here. On a switch here, all of a sudden, I'm like 4'11", maybe 5 feet tops. This is like 7th grade basketball. All of a sudden, I get switched on this guy who is 6'4" in 8th grade.
And so you just swooped out from underneath and took it from him, right?
Well, when I tried to do that, he backed me down. But I think he thought I was the center because he tried to put his elbow in my, what would normally be a center's gut. Instead, it was in my face.
Yeah, well,
I will say, I drew the offensive foul, but then I had to leave the game because my nose started bleeding.
Yeah, let's just say I think the official took pity on you at that point, right?
I wasn't set. I was not set. I was definitely moving. However, I feel the statutes of limitations on that was like 9 years ago, so I feel like I can tell the story
so you can
now.
finally tell the story. All right, fair enough.
And that was the day I said I would never go to the post again until I grew. As Davis goes right to the post, that time just left it a little bit short. Here comes Edmonds the other way. No numbers on her side, but she does go to the line for two here.
And for the record, everybody, Kevin has still not gone to the center position yet in his life. So,
Nope. In rec basketball in college, I was just post out on the wings. I would crash. I'd crash the boards because I fortunate enough that I eventually hit a growth spurt. But it was a bad day in the office when Kevin and his buddies pulled up to the rec center, and all of a sudden, yeah, Kevin, you got to go play the 5. You're the tallest one. That was a bad day in the office.
And the other guys in the gym are like, oh, these guys again?
No good.
First one was good, though, trying to get – like even in games like this, you get tired, still shooting free throws when you're tired. Not too shabby.
Can still get this one. No, but a much better release point and result than the first try she had from 3.
There's Pennzoil slowing down the action there after just ripping that rebound away.
Hutchinson, another player to watch out for. Hammond Central backs her way down on Davis.
Pennzoil there was trailing behind her, though. If you were watching the play, sneaking back behind her so that way in case she had to, get rid of that as a relief valve, she's there for you. But that's just basketball IQ. That's why at this level, we haven't had a shot clock violation yet. But at this level, you're just going to see that a little bit more than 8th graders. It's the processing of the game and watching and being involved in situations all season long. And, these are seniors, obviously. So for 4 seasons at the high school level, just picking up those little things and doing it well.
Up and under and in for Hutchinson. And
she is so fun to watch. It's
45-21. Yeah, she is. You see the numbers on paper, but then when you actually see an athlete in person, it's next level. As here's Davis rings in the step back 3.
Yeah, no question about it. As Davis stepping back, saying, I'm going to take care of this one here.
Pennzoil and Team White still just rolling in this one up 45-24. How about Montgomery? Put a lot of English on it, maybe a little bit too much English on it. It rimmed out.
Yeah, really nice looking move there. The only thing that didn't look good about it was it going through the basket. Everything else looked pretty solid.
Rowland? The 15-footer wouldn't fall.
And she came down a little awkwardly, but she's up and moving pretty good there. Nice steal.
By Steele. Trying to go 1-on-3. Steele gave it off, and the layup won't go. Davis got her own, and she scores, plus the foul. Hutchinson will get dinged as Lania Davis will go to the line for a 3-point play.
Steele, another fun one to watch here. And, been fun to watch her Trojan career as well.
Chesterton's, or Highland rather, beg your pardon, their only representative in this game. She was great in Northwood's Crossroads play this season. As a couple more subs will enter for Team Black and Gray. But Steele, 22.8 points a night. Averaged 6 boards a game as well in 25 games played at Highland. 5'9" guard forward combination, but now here's Morgan Von Ogden on the steal. Davis is there wide open underneath the cup, and she lays it in. And Ogden stopped her dribble. I think she was waiting for numbers. And maybe it's part not realizing Davis stuck behind the defense, partially also the fact that the white and gray jerseys can sometimes blend in transition. Eventually found her, and they do get the 2 points.
Yeah, she was able to put that one right in. Yeah, like you mentioned, especially when you're trying to look ahead real quick and just seeing maybe something that looks a little similar to what everybody else is wearing, and it's not what you're wearing.
Good head fake there from Clark. It won't fall, though. And the rebound there for Van Ogden. Miller left it shy. Pennzoil, there's the player you've had your eye on all day, picks up the rebound and draws a jump ball.
Yeah, and she wasn't going to be denied, and look, it worked out for her team in the end because they get to keep the possession. Or no, I'm sorry, they don't have the possession here, but
they'll win the arrow, though, yeah.
Yeah, we'll win the arrow back for them after this inbounds here.
It is Miller. Oh, and she got deflected. Mart with the block. They have numbers the other way. Good recovery there from Von Ogden, but Hutchinson's there to clean up the play and put it up and in. It's 47-29.
Yeah, the play clearly was trying to get it to Hutchinson, and still the defense left her all alone even after the almost turnover. And we'll see an and one here.
Melanie Williams out of Maryville will go to the line for a 3-point play opportunity. She was so dominant defensively this year. That's why Maryville loved her so much. She was third in the conference in points per game, led Maryville. But more importantly, though, she was third in the Doolin in blocks per game as well. She had 27 blocks in total on the season. That was good for about just under a block and a half per game. And they loved her defense, the Pirates did.
Yeah, she is not one that the rest of the Doolin wanted to come across on any given evening.
And that does look at the acceleration from Davis as she scores.
Movement right there.
Back though to Williams, as you were saying.
Yeah, when you're able to kind of get in that in the head space of some of the players and getting those block shots, players don't want to maybe put up a shot if you're defending them, so they kind of gets in their head a little bit. The best shooters though are not going to let that bother them, but even still, they're like, oh, I got to be careful. I got to get my separation from her so that way I can get my good shot. And maybe, not always going to pull the trigger when they should.
Hutchinson hits the J from 11 feet. It's 49-33 Team White over Team Black and Gray, and Clark comes with a steal. The Valparaiso guard with numbers will put it up and draw a foul.
It's a situation there. You got a trailer behind you that's going to get ready to block your shot. Do you deny and slow up? You could do a jump stop right there at the block, wait for the defender to blow by, but at the same time, you can also meet the contact. Maybe you get the and one to go along with it.
Cadence Clark, 9.3 points a game in her senior year with the Vikings. But she was a sharp shooter, though. 39% from the field on the season. She shot 33% from distance as well, too. And that's going to be a piece that VHS will have to replace going into the next season.
Yeah, where do they go for some of that offensive power, especially in a game where, threes are so important anymore?
Here comes Davis the other way. Gets around Clark, and Hutchinson denies her. Clark with a full head of steam finds Pennzoil in transition. Back to Clark. Wins the battle for the loose ball. Hutchinson now posting up on the elbow. Oh, this will be fun. Pennzoil, open three. Long.
But again, doing what she's supposed to do. It's those little things, kind of a small ball mentality when it comes to, getting that three-shot open. It's because she's trailing right behind to make sure she's available in an open outlet once the defense starts to smother the offensive player in the paint.
2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Third quarter, 49-33 our score. Screen there from Hutchinson. The kick to Clark in the corner. The lob inside, Hutchinson, and that's just the size. Shot won't count, but the great post move inside allows her to draw a foul and a side out for Team White.
Well, and it's great. This is, first off, it's a really fun event put on here by Darius Garland to allow a lot of these top kids around Northwest Indiana. There's probably even some still that, either ones that were invited that didn't come or probably definitely had the skills and the talent to be invited as well. But it just goes to show you there is just so much talent around Northwest Indiana to allow these players to be here. And, sometimes, I hear people say like, oh, talent, can't compete with the Indy area. It's just not true. Some things just don't work out in your favor. We've got such stellar athletes up here, and anybody that says otherwise, sorry to say, you're just wrong. We got great kids up here in the region, great athletes, and I'm glad we get to showcase these talents here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
And we're proud to be the only game in town as Miller left it shy, got her own, and scores the putback runner. 2:06 to play. This is something that Zach Miller and I were talking about here, Michael, back in game 2 of the day, which was the Ladies Rising Stars game, which was the reason why this event feels extra cool, though, is that it's truly region best on best. And what I'm saying is a lot of these players are in AAU programs or the travel ball organizations where a lot of their competitions during the offseason are best on best. But oftentimes, it's never against best on best from your own region. It's other cities or the counties, sometimes from other states when you're traveling across the country. So it's the rare occurrence where we truly get to see the best players in the region all together, which, like I said, you don't ever really see in the offseason nowadays.
Right. And it still amazes me. I'm sure when you do your prep for games and you start looking at some matchups and you're like, wait, these two schools have never faced each other according to the John Harrell site? Like, how does that happen? They're like 20 miles away from each other. But, it happens. And so sometimes you never see some of the best take on the best at any given evening, and some schools just don't match up against each other because of the way that the schedules are played out and the number of teams and all the any open spots. And, you want to play a competitive schedule, and, obviously we know that some schools are not going to be, one of those top teams you're looking at in terms of competition, and that's okay, but there's still good players on those teams when it comes to the region. You want to start getting some of those teams down in, maybe Southern Indiana, stuff like that on your schedule for tournaments and things like that. But man, oh man, it's fun when these guys get together and these girls get together as well and can play, like you said, in a game like this, matchups that we probably never would really see. Like maybe we don't see India Hutchinson versus, I don't know, pick a name out of the pick a name out of the lineup. A school that may not face each other because because of the classes as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have. I mean, in football at least you don't do a whole lot of 6A versus 1A, that kind of thing, or 4A versus 1A at the high school basketball level as well.
Steele gets her first points of the game. That's the Highland product, Jordan Steele. I'm sure that probably feels good to see at least one get through the twine there. And she's on the attack again. Rolling there, 14-footer. Plops out. And that type of day for Team Black and Gray.
Pennzoil feeding down there, gets the foul call.
It's Jayla Anderson, the Calumet New Tech product. And she'll go to the line for 2 shots. Keep up with all things Region Sports. Be sure to check us out on our social media pages. We are always active on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, and our website at regionsports.com. Celebrating over 25 years, we are proud to still be the only game in town.
And I'll say from a selfish standpoint as well, it's fun for us to be able to see some of these players. I personally, usually when I get, my assignments, a lot of times I notice I get a lot of Duneland Athletic Conference games. So I don't get to see a whole lot of teams from, the NCC or the GSSC or the GLC or whatever. GLAC, excuse me. But so I don't get to see a whole lot of the, some of the top players in the area get to play because I might be somewhere else. And even then, I don't get every single Duneland team. So I may not see everybody out there. And this is a fun way to get to see some of the players play that you hear a lot about and you get to see in stories and mentions and things like that. And now you get a chance to see them live.
We have played 3. It's been a fun day here at Indiana University Northwest, 53-41. Team White the score. Time to pay the bills here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Meet Scott Miller, a lifelong Northwest Indiana resident. Scott has spent his career serving his community as a teacher, school leader, and superintendent of Hammond schools. Today, he serves as Chief of Staff for the City of Hammond, helping lead operations and guide decisions that impact local families every day. Known for tackling tough challenges and making responsible, honest decisions, Scott is ready to bring steady leadership to the Lake County Council. Scott Miller, responsible, experienced, ready. Mortaranos Roofing is a family-owned business established in 1986, celebrating over 40 years. We have completed over 5,600 roof replacements, repairs, and chimney projects, focused in Northwest Indiana and Southwest Michigan. Mortaranos Roofing has always put family, friends, and customers first in our mission to complete roofing projects with the greatest care and consideration as if it was our own. Give them a call today for a free estimate at 219-872-8246. Mortaranos Roofing, protect your past, present, and future roofs for you and your loved ones and your legacy.
Today's coverage of the 2026 Darius Garland Region All-Star Games is made possible by Bill Coe's Barbershop. Give them a call today at 219-886-1483. Fourth quarter is here as Team White enjoying a 12-point advantage over Team Black and Gray. As Mart gets called for, how about this, our first offensive foul of the day. And it comes in the fourth quarter, a push-off.
Hey, a foul's a foul. Sometimes you gotta make what's due.
That just reminded me, and the reaction from the crowd reminded me of perhaps my favorite moment. We're talking about the theme of All-Star games. Not NBA, but the Pro Bowl. Many years ago when there was a pass interference call in the end zone, and the infamous ref, Ed Hockley, before announcing who the penalty it was on, opens up his mic and tells not just the crowd, but obviously America, because the game was televised, and he says, yes, there are penalties in the Pro Bowl. Pass interference, defense. And does the full spiel afterwards. And I was like, that is gold. And that's, if the refs are having fun, that is a sign that everyone should be having fun then, right?
I'm pretty sure if you went and looked at the stats, I'm pretty sure whichever crew Hockley was, they were the crew that probably penalized teams the most because, he had to show off the workout routine a little bit, what he did in the gym, so he had to make sure he was out there. But he also knew how to play to the crowd, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the big pieces of, any of those positions. Some guys want to remain anonymous. Other people want to make sure they're known and have fun with the crowd. I love it personally when the officials, when they're obviously going to be telling the world what the penalty is, especially in with some of these leagues going foreign countries, and they do the call in
the native language,
the native language of the country. I think that's really cool.
It happened in Germany, I think, 2 seasons ago.
It's happened a few times. I think they even did it in Spanish one time when they were.
So we got a foul here on Roland on the drive by Pennzoil. I also that's also why I love now, we're seeing, the refs mic'd up to make announcements in Major League Baseball. It's been a thing for a few years. The NBA's added in with the in the last couple of years, too. College basketball just added it 2 years ago, too. So it's become more of a trend to have the refs kind of talk to the crowd, explain things. Some guys use an opportunity to showcase their personalities, too.
Yeah, no question about it. I don't think the high school refs necessarily want it, but they want to remain anonymous.
But there's a lot of great refs, though, and officials in the region.
These 3 here tonight, I've seen so many years around IHSAA functions in games and really do a great job. And it's a thankless job. And, you had mentioned that the refs that were doing the previous game had done 3 games in a row. And that's, these guys are not just working one day a week. They are working multiple games. Obviously basketball season, you got games on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and some of these guys are working every single one of those nights because there's not a lot of officials out there anymore. So these guys are working extra, and sometimes they're working middle school games, league games on Saturday mornings, and then a varsity game at night. Nice feed down underneath.
That was Mart. She couldn't get to go. She got her own, and this time she finishes it.
Way to stay with it. A great feed. I believe it was Hutchinson that gave her the feed.
57-45, inside 6 to play here in the 4th. Steele on the drive, and Pennzoil there with the cookies. Up ahead, and the pass to Hutchinson taken away. Cookies on the other end for Davis.
Hand in the jar there.
Kick out, Steele, corner 3. Yes! 57-48.
And just like that, this is a 9-point game.
Here we go. After at one point it was nearly a 20-point lead for Team White. They have just crept their way back, Team Black and Gray has. Hutchinson to Edmonds. Down low, and Pennzoil will go to the line for 2.
See some check-ins coming in here. And, in a high school game, I'm also kind of looking at, you got a couple on the bench, but a lot of these players have been in the entire game. So it's not like they're running, 12 deep on the bench. They're running 7, so there are some substitutions. So a few chances to get a breather. Then some players are going to be out there the entire game.
Nothing but nylon on the first try for Addison Pennzoil, the Marquette Catholic guard. And all of a sudden it's 59-48. Blink and you'll miss it for both teams. Roland hands off to Miller. Miller bobbing and weaving. Roland's open. Her 3 was impacted there. I think Hutchinson may have got a piece of it. Mart up ahead. Hutchinson open, but the ball goes right through her hands and out of bounds.
Yeah, just out of the wickets there. May have been deflected a little bit by Roland there, or at least her presence had a factor in losing that one.
Great recovery from Team Black and Gray. Steele, I believe that ball was deflected out of bounds. Yes, it was. That just looked like it was too awkward of a pass in motion for it to be off a Steele last.
Well, that's what we talked about, too, at the very onset of this whole thing. These guys or these ladies aren't used to playing with each other, so sometimes there are going to be some awkward passes and some awkwardness because the chemistry isn't built up. And that builds up over the course of a game, but...
Roland goes to the line here for 2 shots, trying to bring him back within single digits. Reminder that coming up after this one, we'll have the 5th and final game of the day here for the Darius Garland Region All-Star Games. It'll be the boys senior regional All-Stars. The best seniors from across the region will meet up on the hardwood for bragging rights and maybe a cool trophy too. 59-50 the score. As Roland goes 2 for 2. Here's Clark.
Question is going to be, is the trophy as big as Kevin? Is the question.
Is that what we're saying is the marker for a big or small trophy?
I'm gonna leave it open to interpretation. You take it how you want.
Okay, got it. Good to know. As we'll have a 30-second timeout here with 4:37 left. Keep up with all things Region Sports. Be sure to check us out on our social media pages. We're always active on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, and at our website at regionsports.com. Celebrating over 25 years, we are proud to still be the only game in town. Vibes are good in this beautiful gymnasium here on the campus of Indiana University Northwest, right here in Gary. A lot of banners for both the men's and women's basketball programs.
Here in the NAIA.
As members of the CCAC, which features schools like the Calumet College of St. Joseph, which we go there for some tailgates during football season. Their sprint football program, one of the best, not just in the region, but throughout the country.
Yeah, not too shabby over there.
Davis, what a Euro step. She got blocked and got her own. Steele there to recover the play. She'll try a step back triple and knock it down.
Steele's helping this team come back here. She's got a few triples in this fourth quarter alone, and all of a sudden it's a 6-point game. Still over 4 minutes to go, Kevin.
We got a ball game here, ladies and gentlemen.
Do they do overtime in All-Stars?
That was a question we forgot to ask in the production meeting.
Oh, darn it.
Here's Hutchinson. She doesn't want OT. That's why.
That's why she's laying it right in there with ease. That's what, people can say what they want about all-star games, and at the higher level, I get it. But at this level, there's pride in the line. They didn't want to lose by 20. They want to come back and win this thing.
Now, we've seen a couple of lopsided games. Last two games have been decided by 20-plus points. So,
to be fair, the last game that was on the Region Sports Network was a very close game until the final, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, turned into a blowout.
That's a great point, yeah. That was the boys' Rising Stars game. That's the freshmen through juniors. Players on the floor in this game and the next game are only seniors.
Yeah, we may get our first shot. Nope, we're going to see it up.
Well,
turnover. We were getting close, about 4 seconds away from a shot clock violation.
Right. There comes Roland trying to do it herself.
Oh,
Traveled. Walkie.
Yeah. Wonderful PA announcer here at
Once about someone who's grinding. He's been here. This is his fourth game of the day. He's been here since bright and early in the morning, helping out and helping.
It's because it's Indiana. We love basketball here in Indiana.
Henzoil calling for a screen here. How about that? In an all-star game.
And
she got it. Edmonds doubled, and Steele picks her pocket. She's had a great second half, especially here in the fourth quarter.
Seriously, and Steele with the steal.
Davis connects. 6-point game again with 2:40. Henzoil. Steele and rolling all over. Poised that one up. That never really had a true shot at it. And she wants to push the pace. Steele stops her dribble. Waits for numbers. It's Miller. Driving baseline. And there's a blocking foul. We have players taking charges and blocks here.
That's why this is Indiana. It's different, man. Other all-star games around the country, they don't put the effort in like we do here in the Hoosier State.
And we got a timeout here on the floor. We'll step aside for a brief moment, a 30-second TO. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town. Welcome back. We now have the privilege of being joined by Winston Garland, helping run this phenomenal event here. Winston, thanks so much for joining us. I just got to ask, I know obviously Darius is so involved in this. I know he couldn't be here today, but why was this so important, not just to him, but to your entire family to put on an event like this?
Man, wanted just a little bit to give back, man, and, recognize some of the kids in the region, man, that have, worked their tails off to be recognized. And had some great regional coaches to identify these young men and women. So, man, it's just a way of giving back.
One thing we talk about on our broadcast, because obviously we're the Region Sports Network, we want to make sure that, we spotlight the region. You've been able to travel around the country and see basketball all around the country, and you're playing days and Darius is playing days. How is region basketball different than anywhere else you go?
Man, it's the love and the tradition first and foremost, man. A lot of tradition, both boys and girls here in the region. A lot of good players, a lot of good programs, that's in the region, man. So we'll always be indebted to the region, man, and always will support region basketball because, when I travel and I meet somebody from the region, man, and, that's what we talk about, basketball. So basketball-rich region, man, and yep. That's the biggest reason.
I know Felicia's standing by your side right now with us off camera. What is the impact that the region has for just beyond basketball? Why does this area and this community mean so much to your entire family?
Oh, man, we both grew up here. Felicia and I grew up. She went to Gary Wallace. I went to Gary Velt. And, that says it all, man. We love the region. We love coming back to visit. And, region is always with us, man, in our heart.
Man, rival schools getting together? How did that happen? How does that happen? Crossing lines over here.
I know, right? I'm from Lou Wallace.
Yeah.
There's no other school in Gary unless you went to Roosevelt. So, yeah. Yeah, but we dated a long time ago in high school and both kind of went our separate ways and ended up back together, 27 years ago.
That's the region for you, right?
Yeah, the region, right.
That's the region for you.
Yeah, and I know, I guess one of the last questions to leave off, obviously, Darius, now L.A., what's been that experience been like for you all now that he's switched teams and he's now playing on the West Coast? I know his season just ended a couple of days ago, but what was that experience for you as a parent, just watching him not just dominate and succeed in L.A., but all over the country in his career so far?
It's been amazing. He really loves LA and he's thriving, doing really well. They want him, and it's been awesome. The flight, we've traveled back and forth, but yeah, it's been awesome. He enjoys it, so that's all that matters. That he's doing well.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you again on behalf of all region basketball fans for putting on such a phenomenal event. This has been a wonderful experience. Winston and Felicia Garland joining us here on the Region Sports Network as Game 4 of 5 goes final. We'll take a break and we'll wrap up Game 4. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I've received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
At American Testing Services, based in Hobart, Indiana, we specialize in NDT drone inspections and heat treatment services for local mills, fab shops, and facilities across the country. From Northwest Indiana to nationwide, we deliver precision, safety, and reliability. American Testing Services, America's trusted name in NDT.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
Welcome back. We do have some post-game hardware to finally hand out. First 3 games, but now with uniform numbers and player stats and everything, we have some awards to hand out. So let's do it. Time to name the Crowd Company's Lantern Man superhero of the game. Crowd Company's the insurance professionals, and the Crowd Company's Lantern Man superhero of the game tonight was...
I'm going to go with Addison Pennzoil. I was just so impressed with her abilities in here. Indy Hutchinson obviously would be a very close second, if not a 1A, 1B. But I'm going to go with Addison Pennzoil. For whatever reason, just kind of stood out to me. Just getting to those positions that she needed to get to, kind of, setting up the offense, organizing the team, and just being in those spots that needed to when they needed them the most. So congratulations to the Marquette Catholic senior Addison Pennzoil.
Time to name the Blue Collar Player of the Game. Brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Boilermakers Local 374. Earn while you learn with the Boilermakers Local 374. And our Blue Collar Player of the Game tonight was...
I'm going to go from Highland. I'm going to go with Jordan Steele, kind of helping Will Team Black and Gray back into this one. Wasn't a blowout like we were kind of thinking maybe this was kind of featuring to be, and really kind of stepping into the threes and getting those and kind of help getting this a close game and trying to will them back into this one.
And last but not least, it's time to name the Proud to be Union Play of the Game, presented by Ironworkers Local 395. Ironworkers Local 395. To find out how you can become a union ironworker, visit ironworkers395.com. And tonight's Ironworkers 395 Play of the Game was...
I mean, there's so many that you could pick from in this one. Some great shots, some great opportunities, fighting for balls and stuff like that. But I'm going to go with kind of late in that fourth quarter. All-star games, there's always, historically they say, there's no defense. It's just all offense. Well, how about putting the will and the fortitude together? Indy Hutchinson providing a pass down into the paint. And Ekron Mart not able to put it home from Bishop Knoll at first, but she was able to gather it and rip a rebound away and then put it right back in for the basket. So still fighting and clawing even with a lead for their team. So that kind of stuck out to me as a proud Union Home play of the game.
That was, once again, a Ironworkers 395 Play of the Game presented by Ironworkers Local 395 Union Strong. That'll wrap us up for Game 4. We'll have a 3-man booth coming up here for the finale of this DG Elite Region All-Star Game. But for now, for our executive producer, Chris Ramirez, operations manager, Rich Castillo, and our sports director, Mike Dewan. And a special thank you to Indiana University Northwest, Ryan Shelton, who's the AD at IUN, Darius Garland Elite, and Winston and Felicia Garland for coming on the broadcast and also for putting on such a wonderful event. And last but not least, special thanks to the viewers like you at home at regionsports.com, YouTube/RegionSports, and Facebook/Region Nation. For our entire on-site crew, with our camera operators, Paul Vela and Thomas Marsh, our producer, Zach Miller, 2 I's, 2 L's on the ones and twos. For Michael Brander, I'm Captain Malater saying so long. You've been watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Tonight's broadcast is made possible by Strack & Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Crowell Insurance Company, the insurance superheroes. Ironworkers Local 395, proud to be union. Four Seasons Mechanical, quality and comfort is our guarantee. Boilermakers Local 374, earn while you learn. Pulse Technology, leading the way in technological innovation for over 70 years. Visit Michigan City LaPorte. Closer than you think, better than you imagine. IBEW Local 697, proud to support high school sports. Bricklayers Local 4, the best hands in the business. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. Mark Mack